Greetings and welcome to Calm Clear Conversations. I'm Christopher Johnson of Calm Clear Communications, and with me today for a fun, friendly conversation, Wendy Caverly. Welcome, Wendy.
Welcome. So I didn't know this was supposed to be fun and friendly. I really
Oh,
thought that we were
you
gonna,
know,
no.
we can go adversarial.
It's so much more stressful to do that. Let's just have a nice conversation and a few laughs.
Absolutely. Because adversarial, yeah, you're right. That is tiring and taxing.
Exhausting. Exactly. We're here to talk about connecting, right?
It is. So you are a intentional connector. You
Mhm.
connection is what you do. How did you get there?
Well, the first thing that I always do is I have to remind people of the importance of the foundation, right? Our network, our connections is the foundation that we build all of our future successes on, both personal and professional. If you think about it, those childhood friends that you still spend time with who are loyal to you, who give you that great feedback, that's your network. It's just not viewed that way, and it is a foundational thing. So bad stuff happens in life. We lose our business, we lose our jobs, we lose loved ones, whatever the case may be. It's so much faster and easier to rebuild when you have a firm foundation under you. And that's what connection is. That's what your network is that firm foundation. And so that's usually how I start by uh, reminding people that they know this. They know that they need the foundation, and they know the best way to create anything is with intention. It's not random luck. It's skill and strategy. And when you know it, when you recognize it, you have control over how you process it, how you absorb it, how you make it happen. And it's faster, it's less confusing that way. So that's how I start, by reminding people the importance of foundation. And then the next thing I start with is helping them find their ideal style. We all have our personalities, all react differently. How do we like to connect? How do we like to talk? How do we like to care for our clients, for our collaboration partners, for our network? Everyone has their style, and it is no right or wrong. It's you, it's your style. So once again, um, I talk about this often with my clients, is my goal is not to make you me. I'm not trying to reproduce me. I'm trying to help you see the options available to you and how you like to do it, so you can still accomplish the same goals that I need to accomplish, but in your way, your style, not in my way. There's no right or wrong. There's just what you like and what I like, but the same goal.
Okay, so authenticity. You have to be true to yourself and connect in a manner uh, that is aligned with how you operate in the world.
Yes. And I do an assessment that highlights that. It shows, let me back it up a little bit. This assessment that I offer to people who are interested in being more intentional with their network is designed to highlight how they oh, thank you, Trey. To highlight how they best, what environments they best work in. So there are four objectives that professionals need to accomplish consistently for success. Everybody, there's nobody that can get to the goals that they want in life without doing these four things on a fairly consistent basis. And that is, spotting and creating new opportunities, establishing and maintaining relationships. And those can be relationships either with your referral partners or your clients. People often don't think about building network or building a foundation with your clients, even though, frankly, they're very important to you. How do you attract mentors or collaboration partners so you can earn introductions into larger rooms? And creating a measurable action plan, so you know what is or is not working, so you are productive, not busy. And that's a big thing for me. People will busy themselves out of business. If you are
Yeah.
busy and your book of business and your bank account doesn't reflect it, then you're just busy. You're not productive. So these are four things that we need to do on a consistent basis. And yet we all have our preferred style. People who are really social or really extrovert tend to be really good at those random events, spotting new opportunities, leveraging new opportunities. But believe it or not, they're actually really bad at follow through. They'll come meet you. They get excited. They took your card. They're going to call, and then they don't follow through because that's actually a different personality type. That's the farmer, the landscape of relationship maintenance and building. There are some people who are very good caregivers, right? That's what this one landscape, the relationship creation and maintenance is they love being of service to their clients. They want long-term clients. They want to be there for years or even generations with certain clients, like insurance agencies, financial advisors. They don't want the one and done. Here's your 800 number. They want the invitation to the weddings, for the family. But yet they sometimes get so caught up in this taking care of my book of business, they're not giving themselves the opportunities to grow more business. So there's all of these little things that once you become aware of, you recognize it, and it gives you more control. You're like, okay, I'm really good at the random. I love meeting new people. I can talk to anybody. I can strike up a conversation in an elevator or a farmer's market or whatever the case may be. Now what? Okay, well, now here's where you need that a little additional discipline. Like, okay, so that's not my forte. My forte is a little outside my comfort zone, is the follow-up. So now I need, what steps am I going to take? Or the excited professional who is doing a lot of stuff. We're going to go back to that measurable action plan where I'm not dissing on my chambers. Please don't get me wrong. I love my chambers of commerce, but there are people who will go to 4 or 5 chamber events in the same day and see the exact same people at every single event. Was that a productive use of your time, or did you feel like you were making progress because you were busy? Appointment after appointment, I'm on the road. So again, taking that little intentional step back to say, I have these goals. What do I need to accomplish to achieve these goals? Is this something that is helping me achieve that, or is it just something that makes me feel as if I'm making progress?
Okay.
So,
Now, would you go over those 4 items again?
I call them the landscapes. I like to translate things through nature references. So we can learn a lot from how nature operates. And the landscapes are the farming, foraging, fishing, and hunting. And each landscape, we are made up of all 4. To what percentages are each one? That's where we are all individual and all different. So the farming landscape is the relationship creation and maintenance. That's where you get the depth. That's where you get the partnerships. That's where you become the go-to resource for people. So they don't need to ask Google, they'll ask Christopher. He knows everybody. You're that's where you turn your clients into raving fans, because the best person to help you find new business is someone who is already a fan of your services. But that is not a default in customers. Happy customers are silent. Unhappy customers tell the world.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to remind your happy customers, don't keep me a secret. All of this is under that farming landscape and that persistent goal of building effective relationships that are mutually beneficial. I probably should add that little hit. The foraging landscape is spotting and leveraging new opportunities. So that's how you meet new people. And what I really enjoy about that landscape is the people who thrive in this landscape are, I don't want to say they're not judgmental, that's not the right word, but they're just as excited by a new coffee appointment as a new discovery call, because they created a new opportunity, and who knows where it will go. Is this person a client, a referral partner, a mentor, a resource, a lesson learned? Because we always underestimate the value of learning what not to do. Uh, so That's the foraging, and that's not necessarily repetitive, but that's how the new people that are going to come in to your network, to your foundation, to your pipeline. The fishing landscape is forward agility. It is growth. It's how you attract those mentors who are going to help you level up. It's how you attract those collaboration partners who are going to make you look like a rock star because you're standing next to each other, highlight you to new audiences. It's how you get in front of decision makers that have grown beyond the traditional networking events. The CEO of companies they're not at the chamber mixers. They're not setting in referral groups, but they are attending the golf outing. They are attending the annual dinner. They are members of athletic clubs and country clubs. So, how do you get time with the decision makers that are normally behind multiple gatekeepers?
Hmm.
How do you find those people who are going to say, I think you're amazing. Can I introduce you to a room full of people who have never met you before? That's the forward agility. So you're maintaining your relationships, you're creating new opportunities, you're growing into larger rooms. And then the fourth landscape is the hunting landscape. Hunters are very deliberate. People think of hunting as they don't wander the woods looking. Usually, like deer hunters, they create a blind. They set up, they bait the area, and then they wait for what they're looking for to come through. So there's a lot of patience to it. And that hunting landscape is the only one where too much is bad and too little is bad. Too much is they're very analytical. They get frustrated easily because it's not working fast enough, or they don't give something enough time to actually work, or they have paralysis by analysis. They're tinkerers. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. You need new information to test the system, so you have to go out. The opposite is if this is a weaker landscape or a less dominant landscape, they could be a little bit flighty, like they're not sure what is or is not working because they're doing everything, but they're not paying attention to what is producing results and what is not. So part of this is measurable action. What is working? What is not working? Do more of this, do less of this. Do you need to put something more on your calendar, or are you not taking advantage of what's already on your calendar? A lot of professionals do that. They'll join more organizations, more groups, more chambers, more associations, but they're not adequately paying attention to what's already around them. And it's also a great landscape as a reminder that to celebrate your successes. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people where if it worked out the way I intended, why would I celebrate? That's what I wanted to happen. No, Wendy, you need to celebrate. You need to celebrate because it did work out. Yes, good job. Let's do it again. So,
Absolutely.
those are the four landscapes. A little bit about the personalities, a little bit about what the goal is, and why you do need all of them. You do need that. You need that balance for longevity.
Okay. Now, what's the biggest obstacle that you see in people adopting these landscapes and
Mm.
making them a habit?
Oh, see, now that's interesting because the biggest obstacle is getting them to view it that way,
Mm,
where people often think of networking or connection as a sales tool or part of marketing, where it's actually completely separate. You can connect with people without it being a sale. And actually that's actually a challenge right there. People who go into networking events thinking they're captured sales calls, that's why you're not getting the results you wanted. Nobody wanted to get pitched while while holding a plate of food. So it does happen. So that's actually the first challenge. But what's really fun is once people, usually at 3+ years in business, some people are more aware, but it's usually the first 2 or 3 years. People are very busy. They're trying everything. They got to grow a book of business. They got bills to pay. They got to do all of this stuff like that. And then about 3 years in, they start thinking, oh my gosh, how much easier and how much faster this would have been if I had been doing this with intent, right? If I had looked at this and said, okay, this person's not my client, but I wonder if they know my client. Let's ask those probing questions instead of dismissing this person. and walking away from them. So the challenge is not so much what happens once they go, this is really interesting. I love that I now am not a victim to the world, but I am in control of the results I seek. It's actually quite easier.
Hmm.
Something else I really enjoy,
Mhm.
and I'm I've started practicing this. It's one of those things that I didn't even realize I was doing until someone asked, "How are you doing this?" And I had to really take a step back and look at it. One of the things that I love about it is it does not prevent frustrations, it does not prevent challenges, but it does give you options to go over, go around, or go through them, because your strategy is to get you to the final goal. And there are multiple paths to get there. So the unexpected is not a crisis, it's an inconvenience.
Okay.
The inconvenience is not fatal. It's something that can be learned, overcame, or whatever the case may be. Um, no one succeeds alone.
True.
Your network is going to be there to help.
Now, is this different for the small business versus the corporate entity?
Connecting with people is the same at any level. People are people. I think small businesses are more likely to see it and feel the results of it than a large corporation, because a large corporation is a large moving beast. They have multiple departments and multiple arms. But even for a large corporation, if you have a division that needs to engage on a consistent basis with the public or with other businesses, and they have goals that they need to accomplish, benchmarks to make,
Mhm.
this applies to them as well. They
Okay.
have this they have the same goals that any other business does, regardless of size. They need consistent clients and partners. They need new opportunities. They need to figure out what the next thing is so they can be ahead of it. They need to know what is and is not working. It is scalable. It is a scalable skill, because it's still about foundation connection.
That's true. So, and it is intentional, not just by chance.
Yes, the prepared only look lucky.
That's true. That's
Yes,
true.
it's not random luck, it's skill and strategy. But to people who are not familiar with it or don't practice it, it looks like, man, that person has all the luck. Everything they touch turns to gold. Oh no, they're an overnight success, 10 years in the making.
Mhm.
It's the iceberg. This is what you see. This is the reality under the water. It's the duck on the pond. That's one of my favorite ones recently. They look so peaceful, so still, but man, are those feet under the water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is matching your interpretation of that. So, like for me, I'm an introvert.
Hmm.
Uh, how how you and I would network at a big function is completely different.
Yes.
So, and that's
Yes.
fine. Now, trend wise, where do you see things going in terms of networking and how that's going to change over the next, 5 or so years? And what we can do today to be adaptable to those changes?
I love that question, because that's one of the reasons why there are people who are constantly patching holes and repairing, and people who are consistently growing. And a lot of that has to do with what they do now, because your networking, your connections are not an instant gratification thing. It's very rare do you meet person A who hands you $1 million tomorrow. There's time into it, but it's a future proofing activity for your business as well. I 2020, Crusaders was born out of 2020. In 2020, when we had those unexpected lockdowns and everyone is home and no one is doing business, how many emails did you get from companies that you haven't heard from in years that are like, just hope you're doing well in this challenging time. Just know us and our products are here for you if you need anything. Uh, People realized that they need a network. Networks are for the unexpected. Networks are for future proofing your business. Networks are not about being busy now, they're about helping you be busy later. So if you were someone found yourself suddenly without an opportunity to find a new client, find a new customer, go to an event, and you rely on that as part of your business success, you should have learned the lesson that I'm not going to be caught off guard next time. I'm going to
Yeah.
spend some time building my network. And I should also mention that this is not supposed to be time consuming. It's supposed to be consistent in light layers. So 5 years from now, you didn't spend 5,000 hours just networking. You spent 5,000 hours doing other things. And while you were there, you double dutied it. It was a sales call, but I also planted the seeds of a referral partnership. I also planted the seeds of being a resource. You need something, call me. You don't need to reach out to somebody else. I am well connected. Who do you need? I know I'm just a realtor, but I happen to be very well connected into the community. And I know many people that I trust to take care of you the way I expect them to. That is not something that happens overnight. That is something that you build over
Okay.
time.
So we should always be nurturing our network.
Oh, I love that. Yes, yes. And if you've ever nurtured anything, like if I'm a gardener, if you're a
Mhm.
gardener, giving something what it needs to thrive is not hovering. It's not a constant hands-on thing. It's light touches over time consistently.
So wait, I don't have to go out to the garden, water the carrots, and just sit there and wait?
Or well, what you should actually do is dig it up to see if it started growing
Yeah,
and then put it
exactly.
back in the ground. And then wait 5 minutes and dig it up again and see if anything's changed. And then don't do that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
do
Okay.
that. Yeah. But I
Ab
do. I really enjoy the gardening and now I use a lot, like I said, I use a lot of nature references. A favorite one in the fall is tulips and daffodils. It's spring. Tulips and daffodils are blooming, are starting to, but they go in the ground in the fall. And the gardener never thinks that they're wasting their time by putting the bulbs in the ground. They have faith that come spring, their flowers will grow.
Okay.
It's the same thing with your network. It's the same thing with your connection. Don't doubt you are giving yourself something good in the future just because it's not an immediate result.
Absolutely. And so going back to what you were saying about 2020, and
Mm,
all the very serious in these trying times.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
okay, they weren't trying 5 minutes ago, and we weren't hearing from you 5 minutes ago. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all of a sudden like, yeah, and that is how I actually started on the path that led me here. I used to do credit card processing,
Oh,
and that's a very needed profession, but it is not a profession that lends itself to deep long-term relationships between the sales rep and the customer. It's really more of a thank you so much for signing up. I've already been paid. Here's your 800 number. I wish you good luck in the future. And it is what it is, but it's not my style. My style is I like to be available to my clients. I want my clients to be successful, and the only way that I can be a part of that is to be a part of it. You
true.
can't just show up when if you only hear from me when I need something. How sincere is that, and how long are you going to suffer that? You're not.
Exactly.
You're not.
Exactly. So, nurture the network on a regular basis.
Just
Don't
consistently
hover.
light layers.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Don't hover. Just, what it needs, light touch points to keep people aware.
And another way to look at it for people, because I wrote that down, nurture the network. Another way for people to look at it is, how long does it take for someone to earn your trust? So that's all you're doing, is you are showing them that you are someone they can trust with not just their money, but with their concerns, with their family. Because if they're coming to you as a resource, it's not necessarily because they need something. It could be someone that they love or need. Trust you with their clients. Because if you have become a resource to them, they might be reaching out to you because they have a paying client in need, and they're reaching out to you because you have earned their trust, that you are going to make them look like a rock star, that you are not going to put them in a position where they have to patch a hole. So you know how long it takes for someone to earn your trust. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. You're not wasting your time. You are just putting in the time for the results.
I like that. I like that. And, you know,
there
someone said it sounds a lot like mothering.
Well, yeah, I mean, as parents, you're attempting to raise someone who is supposed to be a productive, useful member of the future community. And that, yeah, there is a mothering to it. Yes. Yes. Um, the mothering in that sense is definitely much more of a farmer. I'm actually more of a fisher. So my idea of
Hmm.
mothering often comes across as maybe bullying. Like, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it because you're the best, and you're going to show people you're the best. So it's, styles. It's styles.
I
Yes.
understand. I
To
understand.
be the screaming mother on the sidelines.
Well, and yeah, and see, I usually take a different tact. It is, okay, so what were you thinking about when this happened? Oh, so you weren't thinking about that at all. Okay, great. Now what are you going to do? I am here. I'm happy to help you figure it out. What do you need?
Clarity. And that's actually what I haven't met a person yet, including myself, that couldn't use a little bit more clarity. The clarity is what helps you really focus, and then knowing then gives you the opportunity to figure out the steps. Who do I need to know? How am I going to meet them? What do I need to do to actually establish that relationship? Strategy.
Okay.
Strategy. Yes.
So intention and strategy, and that is by being active in the nurturing of the network, uh, you're future proofing the whole relationship.
Yes. There's a big element of future. That's, once again, back to that foundational, right? Doesn't matter how you get knocked down. It doesn't matter what unexpected economic ups and downs occur. Your foundation is firm, so you can build on that. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, what are for those people that are watching the replay or listening, what are three things people can
Okay.
do today to get started, to be better at intentional connection and networking?
Okay. Three things that they can do. The first thing they can do is make a list of exactly who their ideal client is. And I recognize that that is something that is said often. But when it comes to growing your network, most often professionals are afraid they're going to miss an opportunity. So they go general instead of specific. When you are specific with exactly who you want to connect with, you are providing a target for your network to help you reach. A quick little example: skincare professionals. They like to say, I am looking for anyone with skin. It's cute. We laugh. It's cute. We laugh. And then we forget about it. But if they said, I'm looking for people who have the summer off, I'm looking for people who had a new baby. I'm looking for specific targets help us be better partners for you. And if you also have a very specific target, then you can do step number 2, which is who already works with my target client. Why not align yourself with somebody who already has a pool of the very customers you want to get in front of? Here's the challenge. This is once again, we're coming back to the landscapes and the personality styles. You are not looking for someone you admire and you want to be like, because you're not trying to steal their customers. You are looking for someone who does a different service than you, but services the same people. That is an ideal referral partnership right there. 2 professionals, 1 pool of clients. Build a relationship with them so they're confident and comfortable referring you, and vice versa. So 1, get really specific. 2, thank you. No, sorry. Who works with my tiger client? And 3, I'm going to pitch myself. Find someone who can be an accountability and a strategy coach. Sometimes you need that outside eye to help you through the forest, right? We all know the forest for the trees. So find yourself an accountability group or a repetitive organization, or a coach like me who can help you keep your eye on the bigger prize while also helping you navigate the nitty gritty on a daily basis. Find someone who can remind you that maybe you didn't knock it out of the park today, but tomorrow's a new day. You
Okay.
didn't you didn't get that client, but guess what? You're going to get the next one.
Okay.
So, yeah, really know who you want to work with, who works with them already, stand next to them, and find someone that's going to help you keep on track and focused. Intentional, skill, strategy. It's a long game, but guess what? Time's going to pass anyways.
Absolutely. All right. Those are actionable tips that we can absolutely take care of today. Now, are you open to new connections on LinkedIn?
I love LinkedIn.
Okay.
It opened my entire world. Obviously, my business prior to 2020 was 100% in person, geographically contained to a driving distance. And when everyone got knocked into a digital world, I found it open and welcoming and excited to connect. So yes, I am open to new connections on LinkedIn. I love sharing my passion and inspirations through there as well.
All right. So I would invite people, I placed your LinkedIn URL in the comments. I would invite people to reach out and personalize the invitation to connect by sharing something that you learned and something that you're going to take action on by learning it today. Now,
Yes.
uh, Wendy, leaders are learners. What's on your reading list now? What are you reading? What's the last book that you read that you would recommend?
How about I'm still reading?
All right.
Uh, The One Thing by Gary Keller. And I recognize it was actually a book given to me in 2015 from my father. He inscribed it for Christmas, and I just started reading it, and it is the one thing. And what it is it's what is the one thing that you can do right now that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? It's really about helping you focus on the one thing that will help you continuously grow. Prioritizing your time blocking, really digging into that. It's basically a really great guide to encourage you to prioritize your future instead of being busy with your present.
Okay.
So, The One Thing by Gary Keller.
All right. I've just placed that in the chat as well.
And
Uh,
it's an easy read.
the
So,
surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results.
The One Thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Wendy, this has been an absolute pleasure. So I thank you for your time today and sharing and helping people connect intentionally and be better at networking.
It's also more comfortable, more confident, you're in control. So if you are an introvert, you suddenly find yourself in a position where you already know what's going to happen and you already know how you're going to react. So you're a lot less intimidated, especially by those out of control extroverts who come in at you saying, "Hi, you're amazing. Tell me everything." So
You've met them.
I am both of them actually. I'm far more introverted than people would realize, but yes, yes. That's my one tip. Next networking event you're at, walk up to someone and say, "I already know you're amazing. Tell me everything else."
Okay. Well, Wendy Caverly, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate you having me here.
It's been a delight. Interested in learning more about any of the items that you've seen in today's session? Leave a comment below. Interested in being a guest? Leave a comment below. I help event planners and organizers produce virtual events. Learn how I can support your virtual event by connecting or leaving a comment. Thanks for watching.